This conference will now be recorded.
All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Great day yesterday. You just don't know when the days are going to come. That's why I say to every sports bettor is the same thing I tell all investors. Unfortunately, you can't time the market. So you either have to spend time in the market or be able to nimbly trade in and out. We day trade. That's what sports betting is. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of being able to just invest. We talk long term, but it's not like you could just put money into a fund and watch it grow. With sports betting, you have to be proactive. You have to be the one trading, and just everyone isn't built for that. Some people are good long-term investors. They're good savers, but they're not good traders. The goal is to become a good trader. And once you're able to do that, then nothing phases you because you know the next trade's coming. You know trades are going to go your way, trades are going to go against you. You're going to make a ton of trades every single day. And because you're so good at what you do, you're going to win more trades than you're going to lose. And when the dust settles, you're going to have turned the profit for all that effort. That's all we're doing here. We don't have to make it any harder than it needs to be. And the reason we're profitable is because the trades we make are profitable based on the information, knowledge, and experience. We have a very good network of people that are working together to make this happen. So again, I don't want to waste any time with no infomercial and shit. Let's get this going. Let's go over results first, because like I always say, you can't go forward until you look back. Because if you're not correcting, then there's a risk you're going to be repeating. And the goal is not to repeat. We've all make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. In fact, I made a $5,500 mistake yesterday. Let me share this with you. I was rushing. All the stuff's coming in Saturday. You guys have seen my sheet early in the morning on Saturday. Well, by the afternoon, it's double that much work. I'm moving pieces. Stuff's coming in. We make it look effortless. Again, this isn't bragging or a pat on the back, but I've done it so long that you make it look almost effortless. But I see if I put a new person in that position, they just lose it. Like on a Saturday or on like a Wednesday night or Thursday night of a lot of college basketball, you don't want to put a new trader on that night. Like with all the stuff coming in different times and you got to just get particular numbers, it's not an easy task. The reason I say that is here's what happened to me yesterday. You know how much I like that under in that first game, the Baltimore game. So I'm going to bet the under. And as you guys know, I bet 1x to 5x, 1 dime to 5 dimes. So I spread it out. I have an account that gives me a dime a game. So I go to bet the dime, 1 dime through him on the under 44. Well, what's right next to under 44? The money lines. I accidentally bet $1,000 on Baltimore money line minus 550. Not even a good money line. I could have, if I was really wanted to make that bet, I probably could have found 495, 500 at the worst out there. This was at 575, I think, 550. So the buyback is only plus 350. So I can't buy it back or I'm just going to lose $2,000. So I accidentally bet $1,000 on Baltimore money line at minus 550. So that's 5,500 risked on Baltimore money line when I lean Houston plus 10. So I'm looking, how do I get off this bet? How am I going to get off this bet? Well, I can't just buy back the dog on the money line, obviously, because again, I'll lose $2,000 on that because you're only getting back plus 350. If the dog wins, if the favorite wins, we're all good. Nothing, no harm, no foul. But if the dog happens to win, I still lose money. So anyway, I let it ride and it worked out well. But it just goes to show you, I've been doing this 30 years and I still will make a mistake. And it happens. Like that was just an error. Maybe didn't see it right, didn't focus. That was a lack of focus that caused that error. But I bring it up because mistakes are going to happen every single day. I mean, you're going to bet size incorrectly, or you're going to put a little more on a game that you love that you know you shouldn't have, and it's going to cost you. Those mistakes, you got to correct them. That's the key. As long as you're correcting, and not continuing to repeat, it's not going to harm you. But if you continue to repeat, there's, you got to take a step back and, like I always say, recheck your thesis, because somewhere there's a mistake and you just got to be honest with yourself. Like as of right now, the 21st of January, 3 weeks in, there is zero people that should not be up money that have been with me since January 1st. Anyone that's been with me since January 1st should be profitable already. And if you've been with me since this started, you should already be nicely ahead. So let's do the math real quickly so we could get into some business. All right. Let's go over our results. Okay. Last week, let's not forget, last week, before last call, we were at plus 42.41 units. We were plus 10% ROI. We had given out about 130 bets already. Well, as of today, we are plus 67.95 units with an 11% ROI. We've given out a little over 200 bets already, cashed over 57% of them. Here's the math. Plus 25 units the last 7 days, 88 units the last 30 days, almost 400 units the last 365. We're number one in college basketball at 55 units up. We're number two in NBA at 50 units up with an 18% ROI there, a 6% ROI in college basketball. That's the information we're working with. That's exactly where you should be sitting, profitable, in that 0.5% that could actually say that. So let's do some math real quickly. Remember, what do we bet? 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. We never deviate from that. If we want to be ballers and we want to make some loot, then you got to increase the bankroll. You can't increase the bet size, the percentage of bet size. That's how you go broke. Okay? You're increasing your risk when you do that. My goal is to have you, 10,000 bankroll, let's get that to a $20,000 bankroll. Because now 1% of 20,000 is 200. You're not betting 100 anymore, you're betting 200. Let's get to 50 dimes, where 1% is 500. That's balling. Not having a $10,000 bankroll and betting 1,000 a game. That's not balling. That's being a square. That's being a sucker. That's, again, throwing your money out the window because you have no shot. If you're betting 5% of your bankroll on a play, you're going broke. I'll end the suspense. If you're betting 5% again on your bets, you're going to go broke. I can't help you. No one that's on a hot streak can help you. No games of the year are going to help you. Your win percentage will be irrelevant because it's just a matter of time. Regardless of how it starts out, the end result will always be the same because that's just probability. That's math. I tell you when it's my opinion and I tell you when it's math. There's a difference between the two. And when I say that, that's math. That's not my fucking opinion. So let's get this going. We're at now, like I said, 67.95. You got a 10 dime bankroll. What are we betting? 25, 50, 75, 100, and 125. You never bet more than 125. In fact, you might have only done that once already this year with a 10 dime bankroll. So what have you made so far off that 10 dime bankroll? Let's do the math. 67.95. Remember, we tipped the waitress to 0.95. We're not scumbags. So we're going to times that 67 times the $25 a unit, and you're already up $16.75. So on that 10 dimes, on that $10,000 bankroll, 3 weeks into the new year, already up $16.75. 16% return on capital. You're not going to do better. I'm telling you now, it's not sustainable. So if you're not already ahead, you got to take a step back and revisit that thesis because there's somewhere you're making a mistake. There's absolutely no reason at all. Everyone in this room, if you've been here since the first of the year, isn't making money, isn't already ahead. So you got to just stick to that. The 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. Again, we don't deviate from that. That's why I repeat it each and every week. I don't do it to hear myself talk or so I keep saying the same shit over and over. I do it so that it sinks in. It's the same reason a fighter practices the exact same move 8,000 times. So it becomes muscle memory. So it's automatic. So you bet size correctly all the time, not some of the time. I told you, you already know how difficult this is. We're not number one at Wager Talk, number one at the big moves by accident. It's because we place good bets and we bet size correctly. And the network we work with is unrivaled in this game. That's the bottom line. It's not me. It's a collective unit. So let me see if there's any questions so we can get right to the action. All right, all right. You guys are ready to roll. All right. No questions so far. Good, good, good. I hope you guys did good yesterday with the UFC too. All right. What we're going to do before we talk the NFL real fast, I'm going to share the college basketball, all the moves. We're probably going to fire in the next 5 or 10 minutes. I do have a college basketball game I like immediately coming out of shoot. In fact, let's get that done. Let's fire right away. Let's get that going. Let's see what that line is. You should be already logged into your betting accounts. You could turn the TV up if you need. You could log into the your betting account should be up and your odds screen should be up. Go to college basketball. Game 852. Game 852. East Tennessee State. They're getting 1 point. Okay, they're getting 1 point. We don't need that 1 point. We're going to pass that up so we could get even money. So we're going to take East Tennessee State on the money line at even money for 3% play. Let's get that out of the way right away. And then I'll share the rest of the college basketball. That I still have to look with at, but this jumped out immediately at me, the East Tennessee State side. So that's East Tennessee State, 652 at even money for 3% play. And I know there's a lot of guys that are signed up right now that for football that are in the room, that are in just for the weekend or just for the week. I'm telling you, if you're going to jump on and partner up long term, hit Wager Talk up, tell them to convert you over, work out a good deal with them so that your overhead is as low as possible and your return on investment is as high as possible. That's my goal for you guys. And to do that, because I see like a lot of times it's the same guys jumping on every weekend. And it just costs you so much more money. I mean, I make more money, so I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. But the goal is to make this as profitable of a room as we can. Right now, I don't think there's a more profitable room out there. But if you could lower that overhead, then your ROI is going to increase overnight. I promise you. But we're making it look easy sometimes. What you got to do is stick to the plan. Don't ever regret, I should have been putting a little more. Look, Ace is on a run. Ace is on a run. He's crushing it. If I was betting 2x this, I'd be up 2x. That's such the wrong mindset. You got to stay patient. You got to stay patient. You got to grind. That's the only way. You want to bull, you got to go. You got to remember, there's two parts of the puzzle. We only adjust the one. That's the bankroll. We never adjust the bet size. That's what squares do. Yeah, ETSU +1. If you could get the money line at even money, get the money line instead. The one, it's just a better, higher EV play. The +1 point just isn't worth laying 110 for it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Yes. No, yeah, I get that. Yeah. Someone's asking about the negativity. Honestly, I let the long-term results speak. I don't defend myself anymore. You guys know how long I've been doing it, and the results have been third-party tracked for so long. And again, you're always going to have a cold streak that someone's going to be able to talk shit. It's mostly the dudes, like, women almost rarely. The women in this room are kind, even if we're running cold. Rarely. It's more questions. Yeah, let me just get that out of the way. Okay, here's the bottom line. Even if you could get plus, here, let me even tell you, if you get +2 in college basketball, okay, +2 in college basketball, or plus 105, okay, you should be. It's almost like even. Like that's why if you're getting the +1.5, +1.5, I would take. But at +1, it's not helping you. Because again, at a +1 in college basketball at -110 is a money line of -101. If you're able to get even money, it's better. If you're able to get plus, it's better. So that's always the goal, to get better. Again, there's going to be times where it lands on 1 and we get screwed. That's going to happen. There's nothing you could do about that. But if you're doing it for the long term, it's going to be more profitable. If you're just doing it for today, if you need to win today, this week, this month, that's a different story. If you're never going to bet again, then of course you're going to want to take the +1, +1.5, because what matters most is cashing just this ticket. But if your goal is to profit long term, then you just got to make the better EV play over and over and over and over again. It's just like counting cards. Yeah, there's times I get a feeling, an intuition, or my gut tells me we're going to win this one. Oh, I lost too many hands. I'm going to win this. I don't follow it. I don't trust it. I trust it as far as all the knowledge I've acquired and the experience over the years, but I trust the math more than my intuition, because a lot of times it's factored with emotion, and the math has no emotions. It doesn't lie. That's why I love the math, because it doesn't matter. There's no language to it. There's no barrier. No matter what part of the world you're in, we all add and subtract the exact same. That's the beauty of math. There's no opinion to it. It's factual. Where my intuition, it'll be affected by emotions that day. How am I feeling? What happened the night before? Am I happy? Did someone piss me off? So you can't trust that. You got to trust the math. That's why we create the blueprint, so you stick to it, and those emotions never interfere. Whether you have a fight with your spouse or your work, it doesn't matter. It's not going to negatively affect your investments. And that's the goal. That's how you're going to get ahead. You got to be robotic with it, unemotional. There's other things we should be emotional about. But when it comes to sports betting, yeah, that's not yet. You're a fan then. Then you're not a plus EV advantage better. You're a fan. And you know what happens with fans? They lose money to the sports book. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's their entertainment. If I like going to shoot pool, it's going to cost me money. If I like going to the bars, it's going to cost me money. If I like going to titty clubs, it's going to cost me money. So like any kind of entertainment that turns me on, it's going to cost me money. If you like the sports bet for entertainment, have at it. But if you're actually risking your hard-earned money and you're doing it to try to get a return on your capital, then you need to approach it the right way. And again, that's what we're doing. That's why we created this for you. And that's why I jump on here. It's fucking, 8 a.m. on Sunday mornings, to make sure we all stay on that straight line and crush even more units than we did last year. All right, so let's keep going. Let me give out that college basketball and we can move on. You ready? All right, I gave ETSU. That was hit by multiple groups. Here's the rest. 845, Siena +9. 833, over 168, Memphis, Tulane. 831, Rutgers +13.5. 839, over 147, Fairfield, Manhattan. In that same game, Fairfield -7. 849, over 160.5, Florida Atlantic. and Texas San Antonio. 832 under 145.5 Rutgers, Illinois. And then the added games, we used to call them the junk games back when I was a runner on the strip. You know, what's funny is teams like Eastern Michigan, Ball State, like the MAC was extra game. They called them extra games back then, not even added games when I first came out here. And the only people betting them were people like us. Like it was all the wise guys, all the sharps. There was like, that's why they kept them limited as extra games, because the recreational bettors, they're not looking to bet back then Ball State versus Eastern Michigan. They're looking to bet Nebraska versus Oklahoma back then, you know. Anyway, and we would rock, destroy those junk games, like we called them. But the limits were low, so it was hard getting down. But if you got down, you did damage, because they just knew so little back then. You got to remember, now information's at everyone's fingertips. Somebody sneezes in practice, and it's on fucking Twitter before he leaves practice. That kind of information before wasn't readily available. In fact, line moves weren't readily available. They used to call you with line moves. I used to pay Don Best $500 a month to call when there was a line move in Vegas. This was back in Philly. Like, we didn't have laptops. No one's working with computers, working with phones, a room full of phones. And we had this one phone that was straight for that line service, and that was it. So if there was an adjustment in Vegas at the Stardust, we knew in Philly the line moved. The rest of Philly had no clue. Most of them, again, there was other people that would do it, but very few bookmakers would use a subscription service, because back then, all bookmakers thought one thing: everyone loses, nobody wins. I thought that too. I thought all you have to do is, you know, book. Nobody's going to win. And then you realize there are those networks and those betting syndicates and wise guys that get the job done, like we're doing. But back then it was different. So they call, they give you a line move. Okay, Dallas from 3 to 3.5. Now we're blasting that city at -3, because we know it's already going, oh shit, it's already at 4 at Vegas. Oh, 4.5 at the Dust. And we're getting -3 all over the city in Philadelphia. It pisses a lot of people off. Eventually, when they wise up with it, that's the game changed. But you're just so far ahead that the edge was so much greater because of it. So again, don't get me, you guys ask these questions, then you get me going off on these rants. You do it on purpose, I think. All right. So, oh yeah, the added game, that was, see, the junk games, 306, 627 over 133, Stonehill, Merrimack. And then junk game 306, 629, Central Connecticut, -7. Like I said, ETSU stood out. I'll tell you the other ones that stood out real quickly to me. I'm going to take a look. Let me jump off the call and see real quickly if I am going to release a premium play. And I was looking at the Memphis Tulane over. It's up to 169, 170, 168. Obviously was the better number. I lean on over the Fairfield Manhattan. I like that one. So I like over Memphis Tulane, over Fairfield Manhattan. That's about it. Out of all those, like if I had to right now, gun to the head, ace fire, I'd give out those two totals on top of ETSU. Anything else, not so much. That's why we're going to be quick today. Yeah, I'm not going to keep you around. We're not going to have to be here 2 hours. We're going to go over the NFL next. We're going to look at some props and then just move on, keep grinding. And after the Super Bowl, again, we'll decide when we're going to do the weekly chat. Sometimes weekdays, sometimes weekends. I want both, you know, all you men and women to be able to make it. I know sometimes people work a certain day, so we can't keep having it the exact same day. But during football season, obviously Sunday is the most convenient. We're able to go over the entire slate. You could ask questions on any game. That's why we've done it. But as soon as the Super Bowl is over, which is first week of February, first Super Bowl in Vegas, I'm going to be in Florida for the first half. I'll be here for the weekend when the game is, but I'll be there probably yeah. There's the media week is big, and I've already had a bunch reach out to me to go for media week for the interview bullshit because, you know, it's here in Vegas, the first Super Bowl in Vegas, but I'm going to be in Clearwater from the weekend before the Super Bowl, actually, until probably that Friday night. I hope to get back here Friday night, Saturday at the worst. I'm worried about flying out of getting into Vegas Saturday because the Super Bowl Sunday, and it may be difficult. So I'm still coordinated that, but I do want to be in Vegas if possible for the Super Bowl. If not, I'll just stay in Clearwater, then come back the day after. I didn't want, I wanted to be in the first Super Bowl in Vegas. I wanted to be in Vegas. I wanted to go to the Super Bowl, in fact. But I just can't. It's something I have to do. I got to go down there. It can't be avoided. It's time sensitive, has to be done that week. So I got to do what I got to do. So I will be in Florida instead. And then we just have March Madness. We have nothing but college basketball, NBA, some hockey, and we roll into March Madness. Keep grinding. It's over and over again. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. All right. I was ready to fire the 5%. People were asking about the 5%. I was ready to fire the 5% yesterday on the under, obviously, in the San Francisco Green Bay game. There was a little bit of resistance from the other side, meaning I did see some short money that disagreed with me. And that's why I pulled back. Instead of going 5, I went 4. What's the difference? It's 0.25 for us. Like, think about that. It just sounds like it's a much bigger play. And then it's okay, baby. It's okay. And then we got to what's it called? Today, the bigger play, you know where we're standing. And some of you that weren't with us for the future, you're going to have to figure out how you want to deal with it. Because obviously we have 2 futures going today. We have a future on Tampa Bay, and we have a future on Buffalo. Both with a nice big payday. Hopefully one of these guys wins money line and gets us a live ticket going into the championship games, but we can't really focus on that. What's going to happen is going to happen. We got to do is focus on today's games, and the focus needs to be, are we on the right side where we shouldn't hedge, or should we hedge? Because if we didn't have that ticket, this is the bet I would be making today. So that's where we stand with that. And again, as a pick seller, that's what jams you up when you give futures. But fortunately, I don't have to sell picks anymore. I just sell long-term profit. That's what I sell, long-term winning. And because of that, we could give out those futures. So let's take a look. You know what we're going to do first before we go into those games? Let's look at some of the props real quickly and see if there's any of the props to get down on. Let's knock out some props. All right. You know when the glasses go on, it's business. All right. I just got to find everything. So sit tight. They're all coming. All right. We got Rashad White under. The only problem is it's been adjusted a little more than I like on the Rashad White under props. They've been betting Rashad White under rush attempts, under yards, under rush yards, under rush attempts, under receiving yards. So not expecting Rashad White to have a good game. Not sure if he's injured or not 100%, to be honest with you. But what I'm also seeing is just too big of an adjustment. If you could get 55.5, I'd go under. I wouldn't lay more than 130 to do it. But if you could get 55.5 and lay under 130, I would do it. And especially on rushing attempts too. His rushing attempts, I'd even do 15. If I got 15 and probably lay up to there, same thing, 130 to go under. I'm having trouble myself finding the rushing attempts under. The rushing yards, I found 55. They want a little too much juice. For me, they're charging 140. If I find 130, I'm going to bet it. So far, I'm just seeing 140. That's more than I'm comfortable betting. Again, we don't have to bet if the number's not there. That's the beauty of placing winning bets. We bet good numbers, or else we don't bet it. Who cares? Even if it wins, it doesn't matter, because you wouldn't have had a good bet in your pocket. You would have had a winner, but it's not a good bet. It's like, again, like hitting a roulette number. Yeah, you get a winner bet, you get 35 to 1, but we know it's 38 to 1. So it wasn't a good bet. It was a terrible bet. You got lucky. We're not looking for luck. Luck's not a hedge. That's not what we're doing. Yeah. So yeah, that's the problem I'm having with the white. If you could get the 55, I would look towards it. I have that juiced up so far, unfortunately for me. Let me see if there's anything else we have in that Tampa game real quickly. Mayfield passing yards, 262.5. Yeah, it's a little high. That's a little high because they're adding juice. Yeah, if I'd go 262 at even money. I'm not laying juice to go over 262. Again, I'm not taking bad numbers. The Super Bowl and even probably conference championship, it'll be different. The reason I didn't send these out as I got them is because 7 out of 10 of you would not be able to bet it. So they win more than they lose. It would be good for my record and my long-term results. I'd be able to promote higher winnings. But if the people in this room don't have the bet, what good is it? It's all fake. That's why I don't send them out as I get the props, unless I know it's going to be a time you could get them. With the Super Bowl, you will be. Conference championships, even those, a higher probability. But these, the only one betting them are us on Monday and Tuesday. So, or as soon as they come out. Once the book sees the first bet that comes in on Baker Mayfield over 255 yards, he goes to 259 immediately. The whole market goes to 259. So I'm not going to send that out now to you, because as I send it out to you at 259, by the time you look up, it's at 262 like it is right now. So you're actually getting a 7 or 8 points worse than what the real down, what my accounts got down at. I never would do that to you. That would be me just hoping we win because the sharps are on that side, because the wise guys are on that side. That's ridiculous. The wise guys and sharps win because they locked in good bets at good numbers. If we're following their stuff but locking it in at bad numbers, we're not going to get their results. It just doesn't make sense. We shouldn't get their results. They worked hard to get the good fucking number. We could just walk in on Sunday morning like nothing's up. We got to sleep in, kick our feet up. They do all the heavy lifting, and we're just going to come in and get all the good numbers. It doesn't work that way. So again, that's why, a couple of you guys asked, oh, why didn't we get these? That's why you didn't get them, because I would have got down. I would have got the number. You would have took a worse number. And then if it won, I get credit for it. If it loses, so what? It was a bet you shouldn't have made anyway. If I was a tout, I would have been sending it out, because I would have sent out Baker Mayfield over 255 minus 125. Good luck. Have at it. And like I said, it's going to move within minutes. One of you may be on locked in and getting it. But I'm not, this isn't fake. I'm not trying to get over on anybody. We're doing this for real. Forget what the internet says and what all the nonsense in gambling Twitter. They lose. Who wins? Tell me. Who documented their long-term results? People say they do, but let me see them. Let me see them. Show me 2023. I don't even need to see 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Will you even have the guts to show me 2023? So few do. I'm telling you, there's a lot of noise out there. A lot of noise. Nothing behind it. No substance behind it at all. All right, so let's keep this going. Mayfield is out. I want you guys to get in the habit of only placing good bets or passing. Like, not for it to bother you. Oh, I didn't get that's a Monday night game. I missed it. Fuck, that sucks. Should I take the No, you shouldn't take that number just because it's a Monday night game. Like, I want it to be like that. That's why I keep going over to 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. It's by design. It's by design so that it becomes automatic. We are all on the same team, baby. Hell yeah. All right, what else we have? Mikey Evans. Mikey Evans. All right, we have a play here. We got a play on Mikey Evans. All right. You ready? Look for longest reception. Oh, where'd it go? Sorry, guys. There it is. Okay, there it is. Longest reception, 26 and a half, over, minus 115. So that's Mike Evans, longest reception, over 16 and a half, minus 115, 2% play. Over 26.5, minus 115. Longest reception. %2 play. I'm just sending it out. Isn't it a great feeling when you're in the driver's seat and you're up and you don't have to force anything? You could wait for the good stuff to come to you. Just wait for the good trades to set up. Just wait for good setups. It's just like trading, day trading. That's what my man always tells me. That's teaching me. Just wait for the good setups. Wait for the best setups. Wait for the best setups, the highest probability setups, and then you trade it. And when you're sitting nice, comfortably up, there should be no pressure to take a bad number. All right. Again, that Rashad White, I'm going to keep on the lookout for him because, like I said, his rushing attempts under and his rushing yards under definitely took on some action. All right. Boom. Perfect. All right. Let's move into the Buffalo game. Buffalo KC. This is a big game for us, huh? Big game for us. All right. Pull up your KC Buffalo, props, player props, and here we go. Let me start hunting them down. All right, we got Patrick Mahomes, pass attempts. Patrick Mahomes, pass attempts. Over 36 and a half. Over 36 and a half. Minus 120 for a 2% play. So that's minus 120. Patrick Mahomes. I'm just sending it out, guys. That's it. That's what the delay is. Just to type all that shit up. That's all. All right, on to the next one. We are looking for hold on. That was James Cook. No. We're doing nothing with James Cook. Just give me a sec. Nope. We're looking at Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs under in receiving yards. But at 63 or better, 63 or better. If you could get 63 or better, I'd lay up the minus 125 for under 63 or better. Stephon Diggs, receiving yards. All right, we do have, are you ready? Another 2% play on Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid over 4.5 pass receptions. Here's the dog at plus 110, plus 110. You go down to plus 105 too. You shouldn't have to. But Dalton Kincaid on Buffalo, 2% play. over 4.5. All right, everybody should have it now. Let's go next, next, next. Give me a second. I'm just not finding some things. Just going through, just going through. All right. The only other thing I was looking for was rush attempts for Josh Allen. I can't find it. If you guys can find it, rush attempts, Josh Allen. Looking for over 8.5, up to minus 140, up to minus 140 to go over 8.5 on Josh Allen. Rush attempts. Let me see if any new props came in, and then we'll go over the games real quick and we'll wrap it up. Because again, these don't go off for 3 hours. More stuff's going to come in. I don't want you guys sitting here. I'm going to give you my thoughts so you could expect what's coming, and we'll take it from there. Nope. All right. It's a good sign. Nothing new. Means we got everything and we're up to date. Up to date. Oh, we got a hockey. Hold on. All right. See, just when you thought, just when you thought. All right. You ready? Game 36. Game 36. Seattle Kraken. Seattle Kraken. We're going to take them at even money. 3% play. Seattle Kraken. 3%, even money. Boom. All right, Seattle Kraken, baby. Let me get that bet in too. And we get to the NFL. And you could go enjoy your day. What a good week, man. What a good week. You never know when it's coming. And damn, it came yesterday. I woke up today to nice surprise. Damn nice surprise, huh? Okay, just checking to see if anything's coming in, guys. That's it. Like I said, this isn't a show or a podcast, so we are doing things live too. And I got to be checking for things coming in. There you go. This is Florida. See, it's another group on that Florida Atlantic. Remember I gave you over 160.5 on Florida Atlantic? Well, this group's willing to go over 162 on FAU. Damn, oh, that wasn't one that I was leaning, so okay. I was like, damn, maybe I should have gave that out. They're already on it. All right. Let me see if there's any questions. The Baker passing yards was over on the passing yards. Someone's asking, they took -2 on Houston, NBA, -2 on Houston, -110, or the money line. Well, let me see what your money line was, sir. -130. I got a feeling it's going to say lay the money line. My numbers. Let me pull it up. No, the 2 was the better bet because the money line's worth -129. So if you got like -125, it would have been better bet. But at 129, no. Good job. Good job. There you go. It's borderline. Some of them are borderline. They're close. Almost like, do I hit a 16 against a 10? Even if you're counting and it says that you should stand, whether you hit or not, that the edge is like that. It's so small. EV. It's almost a coin flip. Sure, there's one move will be slightly better than the other, but it's almost like this, where it's either way, you're making about the exact same bet because -2 -110 equals money line of 129, and they were offering 130. So great question. Great question. Stefan Diggs number on Stefan Diggs. Stefan Diggs, receiving yards 60, the lowest 63, Yeah, that they won't go below 63. All right. Here's where I am with the NFL today. All right, we have these two teams, obviously, Tampa and Detroit met earlier in the year. That was at Tampa Bay, and Detroit was 3-point road favorites in that game. Based on that number, they're being discounted right now. But that was a much different Tampa Bay team earlier in the year. Let's not forget, this was in October 15th. And just 3 weeks prior, what did we get? 100-1 on them winning the Super Bowl. So no surprising they were big dogs in that spot. We know Tampa's coming off their big win as straight up dogs. They're now on a roll. They've won, 6 out of the last 7? They've covered 5 out of the last 6. That's a little extreme. But yet, on the flip side, we have the exact same thing. I mean, Detroit's been hot 4 of their last 5. They've won. The only loss was to Dallas by 1 point in a game that they covered. So that's random. They could have very easily won that game and been coming in on a 5-game win streak. Barely got past the Rams as 3-point favorites. We had those Rams, let's not forget. This should be a tough game. When I look at success rate, offensively, Detroit's a lot better. The average NFL average is 42.2. Detroit's at 46.8. You know, they're right up there with San Francisco, a little comparable to Buffalo's offense. Exactly. They're exactly comparable to the Buffalo offense, metrics-wise. Buffalo's 46.6, Detroit's 46.8. To put that in comparison, San Fran's 49.1 and Green Bay's 50.6. So Green Bay had the highest. San Fran right now has the highest, but not far behind. You know, Detroit and Buffalo today are the offensive sides of the ball. That everybody knows that. Defensively, Tampa has the edge. Tampa has the edge. They're just like Kansas City's going to have the edge in Buffalo. It comes down to offense versus defense. Now, as you could tell from the lack of line moves, there's no information. There's no wise guys with a huge edge. I told you that before. When it comes to the Super Bowl, playoffs, I do 90% my own stuff. If I'm betting a side or a total in the playoffs, it's my own stuff, because these guys barely bet sides and totals in the playoffs or even in the Super Bowl. In the last 10 years, they may have had a side or a total maybe 5-6 times, side or total 5 or 6 times, you know, and that's 20 opportunities to place a bet, side and total, 10 Super Bowls. So it just shows you all their money they're making are on the props come Super Bowl. And the reason's obvious. The lines are tight. Where if you have to lay 10 to win 11 to win 10, excuse me, there's not an edge if they're the line's pretty accurate. Here we had a line that moved. I mean, we had Detroit come out at 4.5, got bet up to 6.5, never reached that 7. That's key. That's key. Never reached 7. And then you look at the Buffalo side. That freaking line was what? 3. Key 3. And now it's come off the 3. Again, a lot of telling signs there of what the sports books are trying to do. I'll tell you now, I unfortunately, I like the Buccaneers. I like Tampa in that early game. I do. I like Tampa. I don't know about money line, but I like Tampa. So I'm not going to hedge with Detroit. I'm not going to look to hedge, you know, even if Tampa gets out ahead, I'm going to let that ride. We placed a great bet at 100 to 1. They're all the way in the divisional playoff game. If they get us to the championship game, then maybe we'll figure something out. But for now, I like the position we're in. The money line's almost, they're only getting plus 220 on the money line, and we got them at 100 to 1 to win the game, more or less. You know, cut it over 3 games, got to win the next 2 also. But what I'm saying is we got a pretty good money line for them to win this. So if we're going to bet it, we're going to look to bet Tampa plus 6. I'm going to just decide between now and then if I want more risk. I have 3 hours, 2.5. I like to give you guys time to bet it. About 2.5 hours before I determine if I want more risk on on Tampa, excuse me, on Tampa. I also like the under in that game. I like the under in that game. I'm sitting back because the market's moved against me. It was 48.5 3 days ago. It was 49 as of 2 days ago, and it's 49.5 right now. So it's probably going to get to 50, and that's why I'm waiting. And also waiting to confirm if any of the sharp money is the reason for the over. We don't want to battle that 0.5% that wins either. Sure, we're going to go against them on occasion, but you want to avoid that as often as possible. It's like you're not going to get rich fading me. You could pick your spots, and I have cold times throughout the year. Shit, we'll have streaks of cold streaks. But if you fade me over a year, you're going to lose your money. That's going to happen. That's not, please don't mistake that as arrogance, because I've been humbled more than anyone in this room. by the sports betting market. That's just confidence and experience of having done it for so long. And you kind of know what's going to happen. So I'm telling you guys now, if you get a play from me on the Tampa-Detroit game, it's going to be on Tampa Bay. And it's going to be on the under. Anything on Cook, James Cook. Nope. No, it was like this Russian receiving prop. They two-way action on them and against them. So no, nothing I would say is a play. So if you get anything, telling you now, it's going to be Tampa and under. It's up to you if you want to take on. If I take more risk on Tampa, you don't have to. You may say, you know what, I got that future. I'm just going to cheer them in to win money line. It's great. Nothing wrong with that. So you can always do that. Or if you like Detroit, bet Detroit. Again, like I said, these are playoff games. You see where the line is. They don't need to move the line much. They know it's a tight line where they could balance the money or balance the result. They're not balancing the money. That much I can promise you. So what they're going to do is try to balance the result. Because if you have to lay 11 to 10, and I could balance the result where team A wins 50% of the time, team B wins 50% of the time at this point spread, and you got to lay 11 to 10, you're going to lose money long term. You're taking the worst of it either way. That's what they're trying to do with this game. We just got to make sure we don't fall victim to it. We won't. I won't let that happen to us because we will know for sure if that's just square money that pushes us up to 49.5 or 50. If that's confirmed, we will go under, not afraid to fade them. And again, if I want to take on more risk, it will be on Tampa Bay plus the 6 in the second game. Let's knock that one out. I'm conflicted here. I'm going to tell you straight. Okay. We know these two teams know each other very well. In fact, since October of 2020, since what, January of 2022. So 2 years, they've played 4 times, 3 times. This will be the 4th time. Buffalo's won and straight up and covered 2 of 3. In fact, Buffalo's won and covered 3 of their last 4, dating back to 2021. All 4 of those games were in Kansas City. Yep. They have not played in Buffalo since 2020, and that's when Kansas City won that game. So the last 5 times they played in KC, and Buffalo was able to win 3 of the 5. And we have back-to-back unders in this series. Remember, in October of 2022, the total was 54. December of 2023, the total was 49. January of 24, we're at 45.5. What does that appear to you? Looks to me like they're going a little too far. Where are you going to keep going with it? Are you going to get down to 31 if they go under again? Come on. You know where Ace is going with this. We're looking to go over or nothing at all. And with all the hype about defense looking better, Buffalo defense is shoring up. They've only allowed 17 points and 14 points back-to-back weeks. And Kansas City, shit, they've allowed 20 points only once in the last 5 games. And it's in cold Buffalo. Oh, we got an extreme on the under. We have an extreme on the under. We're going to go opposite, of course. We're not fading. It's not like we're going opposite squares or anything like that. We're going opposite all of the bias. That's all we're doing. We're going opposite the bias that's been factored into this betting line. And that's what I'm looking to do, at least. And again, not going to be a big bet because I do have to respect the line move. I mean, shit, this was 48 and now it's down to 45.5. So I see 46. Circa's got 46. So yeah, I'm going to wait and see at 46. I can't make it a 5% play or even a 4% play because it's not at 47 or 48 anymore. But I still think there's a little bit of value there. So we'll see if we're going to take on that risk. Let's see if we could get another 46 or so up there. And then we're probably going to go under. And I'll tell you now, I think I'm going to let my Bills ticket ride, man. I really do. A part of me wants to bet Kansas City. like says I should bet Kansas City. You know, Mahomes' dog record. It's off the 3. Why? You know, a lot of reasons I lean on Kansas City. But that's all opinion. That's just opinion. I don't have data to back it up. In fact, you know, I have Buffalo much better defense. Sure, Kansas City the better offense, but I have a home field advantage. That's extreme. Buffalo's won 8 at 9 at home. They're 50% team on the road. And the same extreme with KC. KC's a better road team than a home team. You know, that's again one of the reasons why this has gotten off the 3. This one's tough. At first, I'll be honest with you. Here's what I was going to do. At first, I was just automatically going to put at least a 4% play on Kansas City. I was going to 4% it on Kansas City. That way, if Kansas City +3 covers, it covers what we lost on the future, and we even come up a unit. If one. If Buffalo wins, we lose the 4%, but we find comfort in a nice future with a very live team in Buffalo. So I was just going to do that automatically. But as the week has progressed and information comes in and this and that, I'll be honest, I start to look towards that Buffalo side, Buffalo side a little more. As if, man, this may be an opportunity to where why give out equity? Why give out equity? So you know where I'm standing. Like we have time to think about the Buffalo and KC. I don't have any strong play, a strong opinion. That's just the truth. That's the bottom line. It would have been an easy automatic, just bet KC. And I may still do that. I may be like, you know what? Like it. Why even make this harder than it needs to be? Just go 4% on KC, let them play it out, and revisit it next week. I'll be honest with you. I consider that it too. I won't be surprised if I end up doing that. And see how, as money comes in, see what they do with this 2.5 and the juice. Do the sharp books go to 3? Do the square books go to 3? Where does more of late money come in? When they go to 3, do any of the betting syndicates snatch the 3, or do they let it go? These are all telling signs to help confirm whether I should take a position. I let the charts speak to me. Again, I try to stay as unbiased and avoid my opinion as much as I possibly can. So I hope I cleared that up. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to keep dancing around talking about the same 2 games. It's one freaking bet. I know we get all excited. It's the NFL and we're going to watch it, but I promise you, 3 hours after they kick off, this will be final. You'll feel happy or sad for 5 or 10 minutes, and then it's on to the next bets. The next day, what were the results? Don't make any game more meaningful than it fucking is. Don't make it more significant than it should be. There's a part of me that almost wants to just on like a playoff weekend, just say pass. No plays. There's eight wild card games. We're passing. Why do we need the bet? I want you to get that mentality. Again, as a pick seller, that's not in my interest. And my best interest is to make you want to just have nonstop action. If anything, I want to be selling picks, packages every day, big plays. But that's why when December 31st comes around, how many people are showing their yearly results? How many of them subscribers actually made money? Very few. Ours did. And if you want to feel that way when December 31st comes around like we did, then that's the approach you need. That's the mindset that you have to have. If you're not built for it, you have to acquire it. Or else you just face the realization sports betting for you is just an entertainment. It's not anything you should want to do to try to, profit from. If you do, then it's just out of sheer luck, not out of any skill or, you figuring out how to profit from this market. And I don't want that. That's why we built this room for those guys that are doing it the way we want to do it. So again, I don't want to go long. I don't want to sit here and hold you guys longer. Let me see. I'll give you 2-3 minutes. Any questions? I'll answer anything you have, and then we'll wrap it up and see what we're going to be betting on this. KC Buffalo total. again, you could tell just by me how I'm having to think about it that nothing jumps right out at me. Gun the head, I'd bet the over. Gun the head, I'd bet the over in that one. If it was going off right now and someone had a gun to my head and they said, hey, you hit this game or you're dead, sorry, give me the over. Give me the over. I'll go over 45.5. But fortunately, no guns to heads. No guns to heads. We're not forced to bet. Yeah, Baker passing yards was over. Baker passing yards was over. It's just moved so much. It's moved so much. Again, that's the problem. Like these guys started betting it, I think, at like 254. And by the time I even looked, it was like two. The first guy that gave it to me gave it at 255, and it had already been at 254. And when I looked, it was already at like 257.5. And I'm get it pretty quickly. And from there, it just went up. Oh no, you never want to lay plus 7 for the Bucks. I mean, right now they're getting plus 6. If you know to go from 6.5 even to 7, let me make sure, but I don't think you should lay more than like 120. Maybe 125. Yeah, 120. That's from 6.5 to go. That's only from a half point. From 6, forget about it. Unless you're paying, 110 for it, 115. Because if you're paying 130, you're betting more or less the same bet. Plus 7 minus 130 is equal to plus 6 minus 110. We just think it's a better number because it's 7. But when we're paying that much for it, it doesn't really help us. The better thing is to wait, because what you're seeing is, look at DraftKings. They already have Tampa plus 6 minus 105. In that case, if the difference between, if I could get plus 6 at 105, that's a what's it called? A much better bet, because it's only worth 7 minus plus 7 minus 24, not 30. So at that case, if I could get 6 minus 05, the only way I would bump it up to 7 if it cost me less than 124. So yeah, always be careful buying. Believe me, most books, especially retail books, they've all know now what every half point is worth, and they have it programmed to where most buys aren't letting you get a deal. There's times we sneak in and get it, don't get me wrong, but most of the times, especially like come playoff time, they're going to charge you more than they should. Rashad White rushing yards. Yeah, I'd bet under 55.5. I'd bet under 55.5. I'd make it a 2% play at minus 115. Ernesto, for sure. Yeah, that's what I would do. No, nothing in NBA. Nothing's come through in NBA so far. Been real selective with the NBA. We've done well because of it. Shit, we got a higher ROI than college baskets. And that's just because of it. The only thing that stood out, I always lean my opinions. I'll give them to you real fast if you want my NBA opinions. Okay, here you go. Nets and under in the Nuggets Wizards. Miami Heat on the money line. Celtics Rockets. I'd probably go over. I'd probably leave it alone. I'd leave that one alone. I'd probably leave them all alone. I'm just giving you the opinion now. Suns Pacers. Let me see what I go. What is that? Yeah, I'd leave that one alone as well. And yeah, the only thing that sticks out a little bit, like I said, under in the Nets game. I think under in the Nets game makes sense. That would be the strongest, I think. Under in the Nets, followed by the Miami Heat. the Miami Heat, who the lines moved against. But I like the Heat in Orlando. That was -3.5, now -1. So probably someone's sitting. But yeah, that would be it for me. Nets clip. And well, I'm seeing that line. See, is it moving up against me right now? So is someone betting it over? And I like the under. Oh, okay, move. It was 228, went to 225, and now it's moving back. That's okay. The under did get steamed earlier. Now you're getting some buyback, some take back. That happens all the time. So yeah, it looks like my opinion on the under seemed to be the right side. No, I mean it's going to win, but it seemed to be, at least the market moved that way initially strongly. All right. Anything else before we wrap? All right. Listen, we had a great week. Enjoy it. We're going to wrap up this week. We're going to see what happens with the props, with the one college basketball game. I'll check, see if anything else comes in. And we're going to probably fire most likely on these NFL games. Enjoy them with the thought of knowing whatever happens, I'm still up on my book. Whatever happens, I'm going to keep making money betting. You get to enjoy watching these games. Like, watch it with enjoyment. You know, so many people are sweating that result out. You don't have to. And that's the position I want you to be in. Betting from a position of strength always. I love you guys. I appreciate your support. Again, there's going to be times we go long, times we go short. I don't want to waste your time. I never want to hold you up and keep repeating myself. I don't need to hear myself talk. I'm here to fucking help you get to the fucking December 31st. That's the goal. You got to set goals. You got to have goals. That's ours. And on the way, we're going to have a shitload of fun grinding. Best of luck. God bless you and your families. Enjoy your day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again, man. Thank you for allowing me to do this way, the right way. Without you, none of this is possible. Without my subscribers, I have nothing. None of this is available. None of this is possible. So thank you. Like I said, you've made me a better. Look at my results. My results since starting this, my ROI has increased because of this subscription. You've made me a better version of myself, and you continue to do that. And I'm grateful to you. I'm thankful to you, and I'm indebted to you, which is why I'll never throw junk at you. I'll never fucking, just because I know sometimes I want to come through for you. Like, I know it's a Monday night game, and I know you guys are fans like I am. You want to watch it. And there's a part of me that wants to give a play out just to fulfill that void, you know what I mean? And because I care about you guys. And if I have any kind of lean, maybe it'll help avoid them from possibly losing money. But I never want to, like, I want to make sure anything I send you, you are so confident that I feel strongly enough that I'm putting my hard-earned money. And I'm someone that grew up poor, came here with nothing. So I'm very frugal. I'm not cheap, but I value the dollar. I value my money. And you know that, like, you need to have that confidence. If Ace is sending out a play, that guy bet it, so he believes it. And because he's grateful to us, if he loses, believe me, it's going to hurt me more than you, because I need the win. I need the win. I need to come in here and face you every week. I created this with the confidence that I'm going to be able to come through. I'll hold up my end of the deal. You have to hold up yours. And like I said, there's a lot of guys in here just for the weekend, just for football, because we're killing the playoffs, and I get it, and I love it. And thank you for your support, and you will get your money's worth. Whether this weekend, well, we won yesterday, we'll see what happens today, or with the championship games and the Super Bowl. Trust me, over that many bets we're going to make, it will be worth it to you. But if you're going to be betting college basketball, NBA, Major League Baseball, and football next year, do yourself the favor of making your subscription as cheap as possible. If you bought a day, reach out to Gianni, get him to credit you. Get him to get some cheapness in you. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Say, I bought the weekend. Can you put that towards a year? Can you give me 5% off? Just ask. The worst that could happen is, hey, you know, we just had a promotion. We can't do it right now. We appreciate you. That's it. But I want you to make the most you can. The most you can. That's how this room fills up more and more, by us winning, not by me talking shit, not by me promoting hot streaks, not by me bragging about hot streaks. This room has grown because people are seeing, fuck, these people keep winning. Okay, The first month, yeah, he's only winning for a month. The second month, oh, he's winning for 2 months. Okay, the third month, only 3 months. And then we went in a cold streak and we heard it. See? Oh, I told you, nobody wins. And what happened? I told you, stay the course. Don't change your bet size. And when December 31st comes, then we'll talk about it. It came, we were right, they were wrong. And here we are, we're right again, and they're wrong. There will be a time where they start talking again. See, they're down. See, nobody wins. See. But what they're not going to talk about is the overall results, what we've already done. You want to be on that train? It's still at the station, ready to go. I don't want to hear it. When I'm 100 units up, 200 units up, and we get a cold streak, I don't want to hear it. I just signed up and I didn't benefit from those 200 units. I've told you from the first day, I even offered $1,000 off. I gave 24 hours and $1,000 off. It just came to my head. I'll let these people sign up for where it costs $1,500, $120 a month. That was it. To partner up with me for the entire year. That's what I want. I want partnerships. I don't want subscribers. I want partners. So if you want to partner, let's do it. Jump on board. Let's do damage and let's keep fucking going. I love you guys. Have a great week.